Hey, I'm Rachael Cunningham, and you're listening to Joyful Love, episode 61. If you're ready to bring joy and connection back to your marriage, stick around. Each week, I give you the tools to up-level your thinking, open your heart, and bring joy and fun back to your relationship. Because it's not enough just to stay married. We want to love being married. You know, this summer has been really interesting for Chris and I. I think I've mentioned on here before that we are in the process of really launching our two oldest kids into their own adulthood journeys of life outside of the safety of this home. And it's been an interesting journey for me. I am a protective parent, you guys. Well, actually, some people would say I'm not a protective parent. So in my brain, I am a protective parent. I do give my kids a whole lot of freedom. And I always have. And my older two really didn't test those limits too much. My youngest tests that limit like to the absolute max. He wants complete freedom of everything. And he's such a great, amazing kid. So we give him a lot of freedom. But in terms of launching our kids out into the world, all of that protective mama bear brain is on high alert right now. So I want to tell you a little story. First of all, my oldest she's moving all the way north to Minnesota, about 14 hours away from us. My middle son is moving to Atlanta, Georgia to pursue an acting career. And that's about 4 hours south of us, which feels a little bit better. But as they're moving, we are really kind of being intentional about making sure these first steps are really good and amazing for them. We want to set them up for success, right? One of the things that my middle son, he's 20 years old, his name is Milo, he was doing is he's wanting to buy a house. Instead of renting for a long time, he's really kind of looking into buying a house and using the money that he's been saving over the last few years of living at home to just set himself up for home ownership early. My husband really has taken the lead to help guide him through that and everything. But as my husband reached out to a realtor, he ended up finding a realtor that she's a mom too of a 20-year-old. And so she ended up diving in deep to really walk them through like the best options for the last few weeks. And she has guided Milo and Chris on several weekend trips to, look at this area, stay away from this area. This area is, the houses are appreciating and you're going to find better deals there. And having that person for them to guide them and who was an expert, not only in real estate and home ownership and all of these things, but also an expert in the city where Milo is moving, has been so helpful. Also, that added piece of having a woman who has a son who is his age, it's almost like her intention was just like higher than any other realtor we've ever met. Her help for Chris and Milo as they were navigating that system was so worth it. And ultimately, Milo has decided that he's going to rent an apartment for the first 6 months to a year just to really understand the area himself deeper. But he said, absolutely, when he is ready to buy a home, he's going back to her because she was so knowledgeable and she was so all in to help him and to really help him understand the things that he didn't understand. And, when I think about the several $1,000s that this realtor is going to make when Milo is ready to buy his first home, it's like a no-brainer. It's like, yes, absolutely, she deserves that money. And it's worth paying her that money so that he can get the help that he needs. So she's helping him to, not base all of his decisions on those initial emotions, but helping him to look at the facts and the things that he's not even aware to look at. So that money that he's going to spend on her is just a no-brainer, right? There are things that we spend money on like that, like paying realtors to help us find solid houses that we don't even think twice about. Even in the home buying process, he's also going to pay for, an inspection, right? He's going to pay that money to make sure he is getting a good deal and make sure that the house that he is purchasing is not going to fall apart in a year, right? Or has foundation issues, things like that. Another thing, we spend money on things like this all the time, right? We are used to spending money for good help. Another situation is that my husband has a hard time spending money on himself. He's very frugal. And so he's had a shoulder injury for the past 6 years, and he's went back and forth on getting help, but he's never really consistently paid for serious help. And in the past few months, he's really decided that that's not okay anymore. He's going to take care of himself. He's going to do what he can to fix this shoulder injury. And I'm so proud of him for spending the money and for spending the time and effort on chiropractors and physical therapists and different massage therapists and all the help that he can get right now. He is doing that work for himself. He's spending the money on himself, and I'm so proud of that. He's even taking an hour nearly every day to do the homework of exercising his shoulder for an hour, right? So that he can actually get better and improve. What else do we spend money on? We spend money on cars, right? We'll spend thousands on cars. We spend money on our homes. We spend money on education. We spend money on therapies and different kinds of help for our children, right? Like those of us who have children who have any kind of special need or unique medical issue that they need help with, we fork the money out for them, don't we? We spend money on home remodels. We spend money on our weddings, right? How much money did you spend on your wedding? If you're like me and you came from the wrong side of the tracks, you ended up borrowing your wedding dress and paying for the cheapest flowers possible, and you spent very little on your wedding. But you know what we did spend money on? We spent money on our honeymoon. And so think about these things that you spend money on throughout your life. And, even vacations, right? Or coffee and dinner out, right? We spend thousands of dollars on things every single year. Some of you even spend thousands of dollars on one new purse. And yet, in the midst of all of this, our own minds are dragging us down. And no matter how much we try to buy fun and ease and security, so many of us are not experiencing the joy and peace in life to actually enjoy these things. The amount of women, the amount of women that tell me that they just got back from vacation and had a horrible time with their partner is enormous. I remember this as a kid too. I remember going on vacations with my family, and it was not fun. It felt heavy. It felt sad. It felt anxious, right? Because I noticed my parents were not getting along. We spend thousands on vacations. And if our relationship is not where it needs to be, it can be really hard to enjoy it. When I think about the shift in our world, the shift of valuing our minds and our emotions and the ability that our brains have to create the results we want in life, I am so excited about the future. I'm so excited about where relationships are going to start improving so much more because we are valuing putting money and investing in our mental health. I'm excited that investing in mental and emotional health is becoming the norm. But we still have a long way to go, don't we? Right? Just like my husband, he's like, oh, this is so hard to spend money on myself, even though I need it, right? We do that too. We women are especially like, we think about where else that money could go to help somebody else, right? Or we feel guilty about spending money on ourselves. So today I want to help those of you who are on the fence about hiring a life coach to see more clearly why it is a brilliant idea to hire a life and relationship coach. Now, I want to just put this out there. I know you're thinking it. Am I biased? Of course I am. My life and relationship has been totally changed by coaching. And I mean, I can't think about it too much, how much my life has been changed by coaching, because I'll start getting all emotional and I'll cry and I'll make it all about me. But I want you to know that my life has seriously been changed by coaching, and I see women's lives changed every single day that I coach. I just had a client tell me 2 hours ago. She said, "Thank you so much for doing this work." She said, "It's so important and it's changing my life." And, when people tell me that, I have to take a step back and just go, oh yeah, what I do is so important. And it encourages me to keep showing up for you guys every single day, right? It's just what I love to do. It is an incredible job to help you change your life and to help my one-on-one clients dig in really deep and help them change their lives. So that's why you are here today. I want you to be clear on if you want to hire me. I want you to get off that fence and just book the free consultation call with me. So let me share with you what you're going to get when you coach with me. That's why you're here today, right? To discover what coaching can do for you. So first, let's be honest. We live in an information world. Never before in the history of humanity have we had so much knowledge and information to be able to be had, right? There are thousands of books and online classes and podcasts that teach amazing skills for managing your mind. They teach amazing skills for healing your relationships, not only with yourself, but with your partner. There are tons of things. You can go on YouTube right now and find amazing inspiration on how to live your best life. It's everywhere. This information is everywhere. You can look up any topic, right? And find an expert opinion that's going to give you great advice. But what happens? You end up reading something or you hear something and you get inspired for maybe 2 days. If you're lucky, if you're like me, I get inspired for 1 day. And then when you try to implement it, it doesn't quite work out the way you thought it would. So you end up giving up. And you end up saying things like, this diet or this strategy or this communication tactic doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for us. And then you end up feeling like a failure and you begin to feel hopeless because you keep trying and you keep researching and you keep hearing these new ways of what should work, and nothing ever seems to work fully, right? In the way that you want it to. So you end up digging even deeper into self-criticism and criticism of your partner because something is missing and you just can't seem to figure out what it is. This is where coaching comes in. Just like it would be really difficult for my son to learn all the ins and outs of real estate and buying the best home and the best options for him in a city that he doesn't understand without someone who could rise up and help him open his eyes and see what he doesn't even know to look for. A coach can help you see clearly what's in your brain, what you might not even be aware to look for. So let's dig deeper now into what you will get when you hire me as your life coach. First, I want you to know how I work currently. Throughout my coaching practice over the last 3 years, I've changed it up a bit, but right now I have really honed in on coaching just women on how to stand up for what they want in their lives and marriages. And when you hire me as your coach, you're taking on a 6-month commitment to yourself and to your relationship. We will meet together every week for 6 months, minus a few weeks in there for holidays and vacations. In both of my coaching certifications, the first one through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition and the other through the Life Coach School, we learned about the Wheel of Life. Now, the Wheel of Life is just your entire life in a circle, divided up by categories. There's your physical well-being, your relationships, your spiritual and emotional well-being, your career and your dreams in life. And since I'm a relationship coach, I break it down into another wheel. I break it down into categories of your relationship. Those include, how is your communication? How is your friendship and your emotional intimacy with your partner? How is your parenting? How is your teamwork throughout your household chores and the way you operate as a team with parenting? How's your sexual relationship? If you imagine every one of these aspects of your life and relationship on a wheel, each one affects the other. And when you look at them by yourself, it can feel overwhelming. It can feel like, oh my gosh, so much needs to be changed. And you just want to check out and go eat some ice cream and watch Netflix, right? So that is what I help you do, is to look at the wheel of life and the wheel of your relationship and help you understand one skill that is going to improve every one of these categories. What is that one skill that I teach? The one skill is emotional adulthood. Emotional adulthood is the ability to take responsibility for your life. You don't hand that over to anyone, right? You don't get to blame anyone for the responsibility of how you show up in life, not even your partner. You get to take full responsibility for showing up as the human that you want to be in this world. And that includes loving really, really, really big. And in the process of loving really big, you get to learn how to have your own back in the process. You get to learn how to love yourself really big in the process. So what does that look like in coaching? Let's get specific. I teach you how to feel your emotions instead of avoiding them. We work through feeling your emotions in our sessions, and you practice it on your own throughout the week. I help you to listen to your wisest self and learn how to use your feelings to hear what your wisest self is saying to you. You might call your wisest self your soul, your spirit, your heart, right? It all means the same thing, that you're the highest version of yourself. What is she saying to you? You can't learn that if you don't know how to feel and process your feelings. So that's what I teach you in our sessions. And I help you practice that on your own throughout the week. I also help you to watch your own brain. Your primitive brain that is scared of change, that's scared of anything uncomfortable. I help you to watch it and understand it. The reason that you aren't following through on many of these excellent strategies that you've read and heard about is because your brain is not used to change. Change is uncomfortable. And at times, change is really confusing, especially when you bring another human brain in the mix, right? Your relationship is just one human brain and another human brain learning how to mesh, right? So in our sessions, I help you to watch the thoughts that your brain offers you. And I help you to get really clear on the thoughts that are keeping you stuck in negative habits and stuck in harmful communication tactics with your partner. So sometimes the thinking that's keeping you stuck, those thoughts are subconscious from decades of learned thinking patterns. That could be from your family environment, from culture's environment, right? Teaching you how to think in a way that people pleases, that doesn't stand up for yourself, that that walks on eggshells, all of those things. Sometimes those thoughts that are keeping you in those patterns are subconscious and you don't even realize what's there. So I help you in our coaching sessions to unravel those patterns. I also teach you my Connected Hearts communication framework. It's an 8-step framework that is powerful, something you can share with your partner to help you to get to the bottom of your issues, to help your communication and your problem solving to actually solve the problems instead of going around in circles with them, right? So learning and becoming an expert at having conversations that actually connect you with your partner and help you to understand them and their brain from a whole new perspective is going to help you to love your partner in a brand new, refreshing way that you're both going to feel. The other thing that we work on is dropping criticism for yourself. You're going to learn to see your own innate beauty. And when you do, you're going to have no choice but to start standing up for yourself better. It might take a little bit before you genuinely see yourself as worthy of love and kindness. But I promise that I am going to see it clearly every single week that we work together. So my ultimate goal is to help you see your own magnificence and to uncover your own inner strength and to help you see that even vulnerability, being vulnerable with your partner, being vulnerable with yourself, that's an asset that you can use for you instead of against you. I'm going to help you to learn how to let your soul and your inner wisdom speak loud and clear. And then I will teach you in our sessions how to help your primitive brain support your soul's desires. Because your primitive brain hears what your soul wants and it's scared of it. So it wants to hold you back. So I'm going to teach you how to get your primitive brain on board. In the process of coaching, you will stop wishing that you could honor your commitments to yourself and you'll start doing it. You will become a person that shows up consistently for herself. You'll get healthier, not only in your mind, but in your body. You'll know how to communicate with your partner about anything from sex, even if you haven't had sex for 5 years, to money, to parenting, to your dreams for your future when you come to a place like me where all of your babies are starting to leave, right? My husband and I are in this brand new place of life where we're saying, oh my goodness, our parenting journey will never completely be over, but the parenting journey where our kids need us every day is nearly over. And we're seeing that very slowly and also very quickly at the same time. We're seeing that come to fruition and we're getting to dream about what the next part of our lives look like, right? So being able to discuss those things and being able to get excited about that with your partner is something that I want for you. And I know that you want for yourself. So you will, when you coach with me, you'll remember that you are a person outside of being a wife and mom too. It's so hard for us to remember, isn't it? Right? We wrap up so much of our identity into being a wife and a mom. And we forget how to just be us. We forget how to dream. We forget how to tap into our own creativity and our own desires. It is my goal for you to learn how to tap into those desires and remember how to just be you, right? So when you do, here's the beautiful thing about remembering how to just be you, is when you do that, you're going to start to realize how much more fun being a family woman is too. This is a huge one as well that I work with my clients on. The sex spectrum with my clients is pretty wide. Sometimes my clients come to me and they're the ones with what they call a low libido, or they want to avoid sex. Sometimes their partners are. But both of them, I'm going to teach you how to enjoy sex again. I'm going to teach you how to stop viewing sex as a chore to keep your partner happy. And instead, you'll learn how to enjoy and embrace sexual intimacy for yourself too, because you deserve a lot of fun in the bedroom. So that's what we're going to work on as well. My coaching looks at the entire wheel of life, right? It looks at the entire wheel, your personal goals and your relationship. And my entire philosophy is that when you learn how to show up for yourself to be the partner that you want to be, your relationship has no option but to improve. And I love it when my clients they come to me and ask me on a regular basis, what kind of magic are you doing? Because my partner is starting to respond and connect better, right? And that's with just one person coming to coaching. Now, does the partner always in my coaching respond and start to connect better? Not always. I'm going to be honest there, because I don't do magic. I don't teach you how to change your partner. And sometimes a partner has a whole lot of issues that they have to deal with as well. And that's when I teach you how to communicate and how to meet them where they're at and start to maybe set some boundaries and stop walking on eggshells and stand up for yourself and say, hey, it's time for you to get some help too, right? So it is not magic, but one person can absolutely be the catalyst for change in a relationship. Okay. So it means what it means, and it doesn't mean that your partner isn't ever going to do the work either, right? They are absolutely going to do the work. You're going to ask them to do the work. But it does mean that you get to lead the way and learn emotional adulthood for yourself first. And I promise you that's where the fun is. When you learn to show up for yourself and to create your own joy, and somebody else can come in a bad mood and you can still show up and hold space for them and love them and not be drugged down by their mood, there is power in that. That is the ultimate emotional maturity, to be able to show up for people, love people, and have your own back in the process and create that innate joy and peace no matter what's going on around you. That's what I teach you to do. So coaching helps you to see the bits and pieces that are hiding and need to be brought out into the light, right? So many of my clients are bringing things out into the light that they've been sweeping under the rugs forever. Coaching is going to help you to speed things up instead of spinning in confusion. It's an opportunity for someone else, me. It's an opportunity for me to believe in you until you believe in yourself. Okay. My husband finally hired that physical therapist, and he is starting to see improvement that he wasn't able to make on his own for 6 years, right? He needs that. He needed to invest in himself. And I know that you would say the same thing about your partner if they have injuries that are affecting a whole lot, right? You would say, please invest in yourself. You're worth it. I want you to understand that your own brain and your own emotions and your own spiritual and physical life is also worth that investment. If you're on the fence with coaching, I encourage you to book a consultation call with me. On that call, I'm going to talk to you one-on-one for an hour and give you a taste of what it feels like to be coached by me and to dig in a little bit deeper on your human brain and see what's holding you back. And then we can discuss on that call if my coaching program, if my specific 6-month coaching program is for you or not. All right, that's what I have for you guys. I hope that you kind of can understand and have some clarity of what coaching is like. Okay, I highly encourage you to book a session with me. It has been the biggest life changer in the past 7 years for me, and I highly recommend it. So I encourage you to book that call, and I will talk to you next week. All right. Bye, guys. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to Joyful Love. If you'd like to know more about my work, come visit me at rachaelcunningham.com. That's Rachael, spelled with an A-E-L, Cunningham.com.